Okay, so when you're dealing with women, always know that you have choices to make. Awareness comes first and choice comes afterwards, right? Because there's always cause and effect. So if you choose to deal with her attitude, if you choose to date up, right? Some guys out here, they will go for some women that are older, doesn't really matter. My point is, it's your choice, it's your preference. So if you choose to do that, then you can. But you have to know that it's not going to make you less than a man. You have to know that you're not, in a sense, bringing yourself down as a man. The reason why I say this is that you do have power. You have power in walking away, you have power in staying. But is it the right choice to make? So if you're dealing with a woman and it does not make sense to actually do the choice that you're making, that effect is going to look like it's going to come back at you, right? And I say this because, like, most times when you're thinking of like, oh my gosh, like it's hard with women sometimes, or like I'm dealing with this woman and she makes you feel this way, wherever you're at, sometimes it could be good, whatever it is. When you're feeling that, there's a sense of you losing your own power. Have y'all ever felt that? Where it's like your confidence is kind of being affected. Your self-esteem seems like it's being tested. You feeling like yourself is not there any longer. And it might even just feel like I feel a bit confused or lost. Where am I at with her? Am I doing good as a man? And this is where you're losing your power. So let's just talk a little bit about how to reverse that. You have to know when to say no. And you have to know when to say not it, not like this. Now, I'm using these different examples. I'm not using yes right now, but I'm using these different examples because those are tools and those are words once you express can put in the boundaries that maybe you didn't say in the beginning, or the boundaries that are already necessary to show by your actions that no, this doesn't align with me. That's why I said in the beginning of the video, it's really about what you want. I'm not going to sit here and tell you need to date this type of woman or all that. I don't even do that during consultations. When you tell me about your situation, I'm going to just tell you what's going on and how to really handle it in the sense of what results do you want so we can reach that and fulfill that desire. And I might as well just say it now. Consultations are about anything. Most times it is about dating. And sometimes I talk to men. Sometimes I've talked to women. Sometimes it's because of that man wanting me to talk to that woman. And sometimes honestly couple therapy and couple counseling to sit down, and I'm kind of like that mediator where I come in, help, and make sure everything is good and we are getting solutions done. With that being said, I've been doing this for over 5 years plus now, and I've had clients in the beginning that I am still dealing with. Sometimes they come to me after some months, sometimes if it is weekly checkups, and sometimes it could be a year with a new different woman. I love to hear it and I love to always help. So whatever it is that's going on with you, remember, it doesn't have to be dating. I definitely help out in a lot of different areas, being your accountability partner, whatever the case is. The links are down below, so definitely choose what you want to check out. And one last thing real quick, Patreon, I've just uploaded so many videos because there was a period of time in this month, well, February, you'll see this video before it's March, hopefully, but there was a period of time I was really ill and I'm feeling so great now. So I literally just caught up with all the other videos that I said I'm going to drop in February. So there you go. You can go ahead and catch up. You can get it for free as well, most of them. And you can also be a part of a community that I am, of course, a part of, and other men. And there's also another Patreon where it's general and it's more personal life, it's development, it's really seeing more about me, and it's very more of like exclusive private community where it's just, I want the people that really want to be a part of like a community and a safe place to be there. So pick the link that you want to be a part of. That link is down below, or you can choose both. Whatever you want to do, you could pick and join both. Now back to what I was saying with the power. Let me ask y'all, how do y'all feel about your power when it comes to dealing with women? Do you feel like sometimes you got to walk on eggshells? I hear this a lot. Sometimes you might feel like I might say the wrong thing. Okay, so let's just bounce out of that for a second, because I want you to look at it for exactly what it is. If you were to say no, or if you were to say yes, who's going to lose at the end of the day? Because you might think so much of like, I want to give her her way, and you can say yes, but you hurt. And then if you say no, you can still lose at the end of the day by losing her. But which loss is better? I love asking y'all questions. Which loss is better? Answer that. Say one or two. Now I'm gonna give you the answer. Did you comment yet? Okay, well, you don't have to, but you could say it in your head. Now, the loss that would be, of course, and if you said one, sorry, but it's definitely two. The two will be the better loss, because if you lost her because you said no, you get a real good gain because you're protecting and blocking what shouldn't be a part of your life, and that is power in itself. If you are saying yes and you feel like I lost because, man, I just lost a part of me. I just said yes to something that is against me, that is not me, that doesn't represent me as a man, that doesn't make me feel more of a man. So that is a loss in itself. And why would you want to keep dealing with that? And I want y'all to look at it this way. You got to keep building your power with saying no and with saying not yet, those sort of stuff. And I'll talk about how to say yes or when it makes sense to say yes, which is really not often these days, but I'll get to in a second. But the reason why I say that, you got to really like work on this and utilize it, because that could be power, but you are actually like destroying, and I gotta use that word. I feel like it's a very strong word, right? Like hate and love, destroying is a very strong word, but you are destroying yourself. You're causing, in other words, destruction to your mental health, to your physical, because it all correlates to each other, to your spiritual health, if you're spiritual or you believe in that, to your, what else can we talk about? Anything health related. So if you're going to be doing that, you need yourself to regroup, because you don't want to be having low self-esteem. You don't want to feel like, I don't even know if I'm good enough type of thing. You don't want to do that. Women also can sense once you're saying no, and if it's the case that you do have to say yes or something, women are sensing that, okay, this guy is so sure of himself as he's saying. That's how you can still be powerful. You're not losing your power if, like I said in the beginning of the video, that you are making sure you're saying it when it's the appropriate time, when it's not going against you. And one thing I want y'all to understand in life too, no matter how we look at the modern day or how the structure should be, whatever, you know, that type of talk is, it's still coming down to the person. That's why I don't want to be the one to tell you, oh, you got to be this way or act this way sort of thing. I could tell you what a man can be like, cool, but I also never try to change your personality. I'll never try to do that. I would want y'all to add on, right? Because if, like I said before, well, maybe not, you guys might have not seen that video, but I've said this before where I've talked to people where they might be on the stronger end, where they gotta simmer down a bit, where they need to like tap in, be a little bit more empathetic with the person that they're dealing with, right? Or be more in tune, so there's alignment or something. Then there's also the man, I feel like I'm sinking because of the person, so they gotta amp it up where they're not drowning and they can actually lift their head above the water. So now when this is happening, doesn't that just give you the prime example of you have to know where you're at? Meaning that where do you need to start to actually gain the power? If you have a foundation, which you're always going to have a foundation, but if you have a foundation that is actually being able to build on, right? Because you could always be on the ground. But when you're building on, that means I've learned how to gain my power. And that's amazing right there. That's powerful. When you know when to say yes, when you know when to say no. Now, one last thing, because we're at the end of the video, and I did say I'll tell you when to say yes. And there's a lot of other times, but just for a guideline, for, you know, something to really work with, is when she is acting right, or you're dealing in a situation where it doesn't harm you or hurt you. It actually, if anything, is a gain to you. It might make you feel more empowered. Other than that, if it's bothering you at the end of the day, you feel regret, resentment towards it, it's a lesson that you don't want to learn again, it's why do you keep doing it, then don't say yes. Okay, so if it's the opposite, you get my point. You can go ahead and say yes. If you have more questions, concerns, per usual, you can let it be known. But if you want to get into details and really have your situation broken down and go into what's going on, timelines, all that good stuff, and reach your desire to the best of what we can, you can definitely do that by clicking the link down below. And don't forget Patreon to catch up on everything on there. I love y'all. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves, and I'll talk to y'all very much soon. Bye, y'all.